All right, back live tonight here on In Focus. It's not uncommon for government officials to embark on state visits, but questions have now been raised about two Theewaterskloof Municipality officials who attended the Rugby World Cup final as part of what they are calling an official state visit. For more on this, joined now by the Democratic Alliance's Sileku. Isaac, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on this evening. So explain to us, how does this conflict arise on this particular matter? Was there an official process of, I don't know, is it an application to embark on this state visit?
No, firstly, Thabo, thank you very much for the opportunity. And I would like to start on a positive note and wish all the Springboks a well-deserved win last night. And I can tell you, most of us were really struggling to finish the game. We had to change venues so that we can finish the game because of the nerves. Firstly, Thabo, I just need to state it on record that if individuals want to go and watch the World Cup, there is nothing wrong with that. And as the two members are claiming that they have paid out of their own pockets, that is fine. But I think where this whole thing is getting a little bit confused is a letter that was written by the municipal manager of Theewaterskloof, to the Director General of DIRCO, asking that the visit of the Deputy Mayor and the Speaker be regarded as an official business. I think that's where we all, started to wonder what is actually happening. If these people are going to be there on their own capacity, not as office bearers, but as individuals, why was there a need for the municipal manager of Theewaterskloof Municipality to be writing to DIRCO asking that this particular visit must be regarded as an official state visit?
It seems this particular visit would have included the Leicester Tigers rugby and some of the officials in the United Kingdom, especially in the rugby space. And they're saying the engagement is to discuss sports development programs and partnerships arrangements. What is particularly concerning for you about that?
No, remember now, I'm also a member of parliament. Surely, as a member of parliament, I cannot be a spokesperson of the provincial legislature if I am not given a mandate to speak on behalf of the legislature. I think that's where the problem starts. Firstly, if they are there speaking on behalf of Theewaterskloof Municipality, surely they must be given a mandate by council to say we are going to be engaging with officials from other countries, and you will be, negotiating, signing agreements, engagements, and you must be able to be given a mandate. So council must actually know, it must have surfaced in front of council so that, councillors within Theewaterskloof are able to know what they are doing there and what they will be coming back to report on. Because when they come back, they can also decline to report to council, as there was no official decision taken by council that these two individuals are going to be engaging with Leicester, they will be engaging with other officials in terms of trade and development. And those are the kind of questions, that are still unclear, and we don't even know what's currently happening with those two individuals.
So as far as you know, did they get the note verbal from DIRCO?
I think, from my understanding, I did not receive any correspondence, and I did not see any whether they were granted that or not. And if one follows them on Facebook, the only update that they were able to give was to say that they were there on their own. They paid for their own flight and accommodation and everything. And the only feedback that they gave is that they engaged with Leicester. That's the only engagement that they had with Leicester, and we don't know what happened to the trade and investment as per the letter that was written by the municipal manager of Theewaterskloof.
At this point, then, when will you have finality on who's footing the bill or who paid for this particular trip?
No. What? Remember now, unfortunately, we'll have to write to the relevant people that can actually get to the bottom of it and try to understand who actually footed this particular bill, and if they were given if the correspondence was actually received from DIRCO granting them, the request. And what is also concerning is that if one look at these particular individuals, is that, the deputy mayor just recently bought a new buggy, and the deputy mayor is going around sponsoring rugby clubs with rugby kits and a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things, that is currently happening, and one wonders, where does this individual actually get this kind of money? Because Theewaterskloof is a poor municipality, and it's a grade 4 municipality, and, deputy mayors don't earn that much. And for him to be able to be doing all these beautiful things, one wonders what's currently happening, and that's what is important, that we need to actually look at these individuals, and maybe a lifestyle audit on these two individuals can actually answer most of the questions that we are currently looking for.
So it's a coalition government between the PA, the ANC, and the Good Party. These two members of council that you're pointing out, the deputy mayor and the speaker, which organizations do they belong to?
The speaker belongs to the African National Congress, and the deputy mayor belongs to Good.
To the Good Party. And at this particular point, if it emerges indeed that, as you're saying, there are postings on social media saying we paid for this ourselves, what would be your big issue there?
No, basically, I think, Thabo, what is important is that we can never use state resource official letterheads asking for a trip to be an official state visit when people go as individuals.
Yeah.
I think that's where the problem starts. And I believe there is no transparency. And if you follow also when this particular letter was leaked, because we believe this letter was leaked, it was not supposed to be in the public domain, it was leaked, and the deputy mayor's response was, no, the only reason that the MM wrote a letter is because his visa was declined. So then I asked myself, so what was the reason that they have submitted to Home Affairs asking for their visas? Those are the kind of questions we want to know.
So what do you make then of the statement from the spokesperson who says that the funding of the trip did not come from municipal coffers, nor did the municipality have any hand in arranging the trip?
And then what was the arrangement? Why did they feel the need to write a letter for these two individuals?
Yeah,
if they've got nothing to do with these individuals, because they go there in their own capacity as individuals, not as official office bearers of Theewaterskloof. Because I can guarantee you that this matter or this particular, possible partnerships with people abroad, it was never even discussed in council, for council to say you can go ahead, so that when you come back you give us a report, so that we can actually see and whether there is potential for the residents of Theewaterskloof in terms of your visit that side.
Yeah. So your big issue then becomes, what is the reason for the letter? I mean, if it does emerge anyway that it didn't cost the municipality a cent, your big question would be, what is the reason for the letter? And that's the thing that you're saying has not been explained as to why they sought diplomatic support and recognition of this trip as an official trip.
I think that is one of the questions, Thabo. And the second question is that, they need to be clear. They need to be honest and tell us if there is service providers that has actually footed this bill. Because we understand, if you go into Theewaterskloof, there is a lot of allegations from the public, from the residents, in terms of, the decline in service delivery, and also in terms of irregularities, especially when it comes to supply chain processes, where there is a lot of deviations, when they don't follow due processes when it comes to procurement. And you go there to Theewaterskloof and you'll find out that they just deviate, they don't follow due processes. And those are the kind of questions that people are asking. Why don't they follow due processes when it comes to procurement? And why is the leaders of this coalition partners living this kind of lifestyle? Going left, right, and center, buying cars, sponsoring rugby clubs, left, right, and center, and now going to France saying that they paid for themselves. So those are the kind of questions that people want to know. Is everything above board, or is there something that we need to know as the residents of Theewaterskloof?
Much appreciated. Isaac Sileku, thank you very much for your time and for coming on this evening. DA constituency head in the Theewaterskloof Municipality, Isaac Sileku. Of course, there's been some back and forth correspondence between themselves and the spokesperson for the municipality on this particular trip, something we'll certainly follow up on. More news when we continue after the break.